community here. We are the new C3 ministry of Crossing Point Church. This is Sister Crystal. Forgive me, senior moment here. And this is Sister Mary. I am Pat. And with Pastor Hayes, we are the C3 ministry. The C3 ministry's goal is to connect with the community to inspire civic engagement and advocacy for a biblical, Christ-centered perspective on what's going on in our community. The C3s are for Christ, community, and civics. We are one of the few churches that has dedicated an entire ministry to civic engagement. And so we'd like to equip the community with an educational opportunity for learning and becoming an informed citizen. We're happy to have you here. We welcome you, and we think that we will have an opportunity now to educate our community about who you are, what the political process is, and how we are to encourage one another to vote and support the community.
Thank you, Sister Pat. I'm going to ask Brother Minister Byron to come up, and he's just going to set some expectations for our event today. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Minister Byron Miller. I'm one of the associate ministers here at the church. And speaking to that, what I'm here to do is to remind you that you are in a house of worship. And we're asking that you respect this house of worship. We can have spirited debate, but we need to maintain integrity when we're doing that. Understand that we are in a house of God, that this house of God is to stay that way. We are not here to debate and to get into each other, to talk about each other, to get into people's business. We're not here to do that. We are here to talk about the facts. We're here to talk about the issues. And we're here to talk about the things that that are of importance for this community. We feel as a church that this is a necessity, a need that needs to happen. Because if you all remember back in the day, the church is where people got the information about who was voting and who to vote for and what was needed to be said. Right? The churches were our community events and community places. So with that, I would like to say congratulations. Thank you. We appreciate you all being here and taking the time out to be here. And we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to the candidates and to get your information to make an informed decision in your voting. Thank you.
Thank you. I think he just became another member of the C3 ministry. You got something else to do, Brother Byron. So again, welcome and thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get us started with the word of prayer, and then I'll introduce the moderator and we'll begin. So please join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing everyone here today, Lord. We thank you that you are awesome and wonderful, Father God. We thank you that you establish government, Lord, and that you want everything to be done in decent and in order. So we pray that over this event today, Lord. We want to lift up all the candidates that are here. It takes courage and strength to run. It takes courage and strength to step out and want to make a change in your community. And it's not an easy thing to do. So we want to just cover them, their families, their finances, because it also takes money and time. And so we just thank you, and we pray they have the family support and the community support, and that no matter what the outcome of the election is, Lord, that all of us collectively, because it doesn't just take elected officials, but it takes all of us to take part in the process. And Lord, we just also want to pray for increased community engagement, Lord, informed voters, people who will actually show up to the polls and show up to events like this, not people who will just be on the sideline, Lord, and have something to say, but people who will actually get involved and show what they really care about and how they vote and how they support these candidates. So we thank you We thank you for this church. We thank you for the pastor, his vision who created this ministry, Lord. And we love you today. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. So I'm going to introduce our moderator, Sister Mary King. She's been a member of our church for over 13 years. She's a wife, a mother. She's an attorney by trade, and she's an active member of the NAACP, also the AKA organization, and a lot of others, especially an integral part here at the church in the C3 ministry, always serving as our moderator. And so I'd like to welcome her up now and give her a warm welcome.
Again, thank you and welcome. Advocacy and civic engagement are near and dear to my heart, and I appreciate the opportunity to engage with you all today. We hold these candidate forums to promote participation in local elections by allowing the community at large the opportunity to meet the candidates and learn about them as people, what they will add to the office they are seeking. As we all know, local elections matter, and we must know who we are electing. So first up, we have the candidates for Iowa Colony City Council Members, District A. So we would like to welcome upon the stage Destiny Washington and Dr. Tim Verlock. As we stated before, it's kind of redundant, but I think it bears to mention again and again and again. These candidates are here to represent our community. So it's for this opportunity for us to get to know who they are, what they represent, and how they will impact our community. So starting with Destiny, we'd like for you to introduce yourself and let us know what you bring to this position that you're seeking.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay. I'm Destiny Washington. I am a citizen of Iowa Colony. I have been here for nearly 9 years. I am married to Bruce Washington. He is a veteran and he owns a small business in logistics. I have 4 children. I graduated a son from Manville High School who now serves in the United States Navy. I have 3 daughters, Brielle, Drew, and Blake. 2 attend Bell Sanchez, which I am the PTO president there. And my oldest girl is at Iowa Colony Junior High. And I am the fundraiser chair for them. I attend Crossing Point Church. I am on the Sisters Ministry, and I am in the youth ministry as their greeter. I am committed to serving my community. I have tried to get involved in any and every way, and this is another way of me getting involved. Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Verlock, same question to you.
Well, good morning. Thank you for this event. Thank each and every one of you for attending this morning, both in person and via the cyber waves, as we call them, the internet. We appreciate all of you for taking the time. My name is Dr. Tim Verlock. I have been a resident in Iowa Colony for the past 12 years. I am a supply chain management executive. I am the director of EPC materials for a large energy corporation. Obviously, I People have been calling me doctor, so I want to talk to you a little bit about my education. I have a degree from Georgia Tech as my undergrad. I have my MBA. I also have a master's in Christian leadership and a THD in systematic theology. I am a licensed and ordained minister. I've been an associate pastor for over 19 years. I am the husband of the most beautiful lady in the world, present company excluded, for the last 27 years, and Miss Carla Marie. I have one son who attended Manville High School. And what do I bring to the position in District A? What I bring is experience. I have been active within our community for a long time. I helped Ron Cox to actually draft our dark skies ordinance when our community struggled with people popping fireworks throughout the community. I went to council repeatedly year after year to campaign for a city event that would allow us to have that fireworks celebration. And those efforts have turned into Freedom Fest that we have now. I have worked tirelessly to help review our city ordinances and to get them to the place where we can actually make changes that are going to impact us into the future in a way that not only solves problems today, but don't create additional problems tomorrow. So I bring experience and professional expertise, but most of all, I bring a love for my community, and I also bring what I believe to be a balanced, even reasonable responsibility to the office. That's what I bring. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. First question for candidate Washington. What is the most pressing concern you feel that needs to be addressed in District A, and how, if elected, would you address or remedy that concern?
Presence. We have a hard time getting people involved just in itself with everything, with the PTO, with schools, the city, everything. So getting out, talking to people, trying to get as many people involved to help make the decisions that influence our city.
Thank you. Candidate Varlock, what has been your most impactful achievement? Moving forward, what areas of need do you feel is most important to the citizens of District A, and how do you plan to address or remedy that concern or issue?
Well, I think my most impactful achievement for District A is holding our developer accountable. District A had a shared use agreement with another community, Sierra Vista, and their amenities were 6 years late. And that created a situation where we have amenities being used by a community of 1,700 homes. The existing amenities that were built weren't really built to sustain the 1,700 homes that were there. And then we added an additional 1,200 homes that were trying to share that same, I think it's a 16 by 16 foot gym and 2 swimming pools. And so on council, we were able to get the developer by refusing to issue any more building permits, to get the developer to go from delaying and not being able to get those amenities built to magically getting them completed in less than 310 days. So I think that was impactful for District A. The other thing that we did was we were able to move that lagoon project, which the developer wanted to have as a commercial development in the middle of a neighborhood. We're actually able to get them to move that out to 288. Those of you who experience traffic right now in the mornings, can you imagine what it would have been if we'd have had that development in Sierra Vista with people trying to get in and out every weekend? So the most impactful thing, those are the two most impactful things. What do we need to do next, as I finish in this last 30 seconds, is we've got to get a new city manager. The city is in a pivotal moment right now. It's critical that we move forward the things that are on the way, and we've got some new development that's coming in. We need to address those things, and in order to do that, we need people who are experienced with hiring executives. I've been an executive. I've been a hiring manager, and so I understand what it takes to do an executive search and to find the right qualified people to lead our city. So that's the most pressing thing that needs to be done at the moment.
And that leads into our next question. Great answer. Iowa Colony is growing by leaps and bounds. What other plans do you have to mitigate the transitions of growth, such as quality of roads, ease of traffic, internet, water, sewage, and most importantly, the establishment of safe routes for school students?
Is that to me?
Yes.
So a couple things. The first thing I want to let everyone know that one of the things the current council has done and that I was proud to participate in is we had a piece of property right in front of our high school where students were being forced to walk in the road. As council, we did everything possible to work with that landowner to try to put a sidewalk. We coordinated not just with the city resources, but with Alvin ISD in order to get that property situated so that we could put a sidewalk in so that our students wouldn't have to walk in the street. And so there's a number of things that are ongoing. They're not big, flashy things, but we're working on a number of different agreements that would allow for the city to move forward in a way that's safe and equitable for everyone. In terms of the growth, there's two things that we have to do. The first thing is we have to understand what type of growth does the city want. We have a comprehensive plan, and in our comprehensive plan, that comprehensive plan says that the residents want a rural feel in our community. So when developers come in and say, hey, I want to drop this brand new urban lifestyle community right in the center of Iowa Colony, those of you who attend city council meetings know that from the dais, I always refer them back to our comprehensive plan. How does this development serve the people that live here? And so when we talk about mitigation risk, that means that we take our comprehensive plan, we review it with our citizens, we then go back and adjust our thoroughfare plan to make sure that we've got the right roads in place. We work with our P&Z committee so that they understand it's more than just what's on the plat. I'm going to take just 2 seconds. We literally had a plat that would have allowed for a road to be a straight through shot. One stoplight, straight through. But because there was not a full understanding at the time for the people who were serving on P&Z, because it would have required a variance, that was denied. That now we have a road that stops, you have to make a right, go down a half a mile, and then make a left to continue. So those are the types of things that it takes experience to understand what we're looking at to ensure that we don't create future problems by just trying to address and get action on a single problem today.
Thank you very much. Candidate Washington, same questions. What plans would you implement to mitigate the transition of growth if you are elected?
Well, assessing the problems that we have, listening to our citizens about the problems that we feel need to be addressed, and addressing them. I'm really good at helping. I am really good at problem solving. I may not have all the answers to everything. However, I am really good and I am very resourceful at finding solutions to problems, finding people that could help us, finding resources that can help us. I follow up and I will follow through with anything that I am given and thrown my way.
Thank you. Okay. All right, candidates, final question. As the city grows, what are your ideas and plans regarding open space such as parks, restaurants, public libraries, and family-friendly entertainment venues? Ms. Washington?
I am pleased with our parks. We have worked with the MUD, and they have been able to supply us with some parks and help upgrade some of the parks that we already have. For me, there's quite a bit of places for the parents and the children, but I don't think that we have a lot of places for our teens to go. That was something that my son didn't we didn't have a lot for that. So I would want to create or bring in businesses that would cater to our teens and our younger adults.
Thank you.
I would agree. I think that the first step that we've taken is that we have coordinated across the city with a master parks plan. The second thing that we've done is that we require every new development that comes into the city of Iowa Colony to designate a certain amount of green space so that every resident is within, I think it's 1.5 miles of a green space to allow those residents to be able to take part in that. The other thing that we've done is I'm very proud to have recommended and had an opportunity to vote for one of your members, Mr. Gerard Allen, to participate in the Northern Brazoria Chamber of Commerce. And as Mr. Allen is working very hard on the chamber, we're going to leverage the chamber to be able to work with additional businesses, work with attracting businesses, and attracting the right mix of businesses that will allow for our adult community, us, above 50 folks. Because don't let the gray hair fool you. I still got some, right? And then our younger community, we have a very upwardly mobile community here in Iowa Colony. Getting more daycare, I agree, our teens need more activities and places to do, things to do, and that means bringing the types of jobs that our teens actually qualify to get. Right? We can get a ton of jobs, but if our teens are still locked out of those jobs, that means that they don't have anything to do. So those are some of the steps, and of course, listening to the community is key to making sure that happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know this one question is off script, but can you all give us an idea of what areas lie within District A?
Sure. So District A is primarily the Sterling Lakes community, Sterling Lakes West. So if you come in Sterling Lakes gate, that's the street, we are the southern portion of Sterling Lakes Drive and the western portion of that all the way out to Sterling Lakes West. So we're roughly half of the 1,700 homes that compose the Sterling Lakes community. The other district is District B, which is Councilman Kareem Boyce. I think he's here today. Thank you, Councilman, for attending. And so that is our district. I don't know if your listeners know, but I did serve as part of the City Charter Committee and on the districting committee. It was important for us to deliver districts so that it wouldn't just be the subdivisions that had a voice, that we would actually be able to preserve the voice of each community, whether it's my part of the district, District A, over in West, or Meridiana and Sterling Lakes in B, or Meridiana and all of our acreage communities that live out in C with Councilman Hargrover. So districts are very important.
Thank you so much. Thank you both for coming out and for your informed questions and answers. I would like to thank both candidates, and let's move forward. Just one. I just would like to take this opportunity to let the eCampus see that these are your candidates. You've heard from them. You've gotten great information from both candidates, and now you can put a platform with a face. So hopefully on May 3rd that you will make an informed vote. Thank you, both candidates. All right, at this time, we'd like to welcome to the stage candidate for District C, Sydney Hargroder. Good morning, and I know you're running unopposed, but we wanted to take this opportunity to allow you to reintroduce yourself to your district and to give us some information about what you've done on City Council and what your future plans for your position.
Thank you all so much for your time and for being here and giving me this opportunity. I think it is, even though I'm running unopposed, it's very important that I still allow you all to know where I stand and what my positions are and what we've been able to accomplish on council. And we're growing so incredibly quickly that I really feel that that is important. I'd also like to say thank you to the church for doing this, especially. So y'all know him as Brother Byron. I know him as Assistant Chief Miller. Or you know, he's a wonderful, wonderful man and a great part of our community, a very big pillar to our community and this church's as well. I was able to attend the last time as well that y'all did this, and so this is a great initiative for your church to be establishing community and for promoting civics. I think it's incredibly important. So thank you again.
Thank you. And your first question is, what has been your most impactful achievement? And moving forward, what area of need do you feel that is most important to the citizens of District C?
Okay, so 2 parts there. Number one is this is not an individual initiative. Council is a team. The city is a team. I cannot do anything as just one vote. Never. So with that being said, I think that the most impactful thing that I was involved with was our city charter commission. And I was not a council person at the time, but to have 14 different opinions in one room with the same great intention of trying to lead our city forward while also respecting its past was an incredible thing to be a part of. We didn't always agree. We didn't always get along. But I think that it really set our city up for a good foundation. It is not a perfect document. It is a living, breathing thing. There will be amendments to it that will probably come up on the ballot. I do not take those personally, but chairing that committee was an absolutely wonderful experience. And I served pleasure of both the committee and the people, and it was an honor and a privilege to do so. As for what is important to my district, so just having a district was having districts was part of the charter as well. And I personally stayed up a lot at night, whether or not we should do all at-large positions or a mixture of the two. I saw value in having some district seats and some at-large seats. I personally take in both accounts. I take in the city as a whole whenever I go to vote for something, and I also take in my district because my district has very unique needs. Largely because my district geographically resides from south of Meridiana Parkway, and then it goes all the way around the city in what we typically call the rural area. The rural area does have some very unique needs, in so much as city services. There are plans with our water master plan to expand water services into those areas. They are lacking services. That is a very true and real statement, but there are plans in place, and we are moving towards those to expand those services. Trash collection is another one that I hope once we get the MUDs, what we call conveyed or taken under city purview, once we get all of those done, that we are going to be able to expand those services, as well as we expand law enforcement presence citywide. Those are things that will also impact my district residents. Sorry if that was too long-winded.
Absolutely, no problem. It actually goes into my next question, which you kind of hit on, which was infrastructure.
Yes.
What are some major issues or needs for your district regarding infrastructure?
So again, my district and city, unique differences there. But I think citywide, we can all agree that water quality could increase and or water availability could increase. And those are largely being taken care of with the water master plan. Trust and believe you do not want your tax dollars shutting on all of this overnight. This needs to have a steady cadence to it. Otherwise, we'll be in over our heads. And that's something that I don't want, nor do I think that the people that I represent want either. So there has to be a measured approach to that. And as for general infrastructure, we can talk about roads all day. The construction out here almost made me late, to be quite honest with you, today. And so one of those things that we as council do have some options, not control. Notice I didn't say control, but options are that we can work with our external agencies, i.e. TxDOT, the county commissioners, to work on either the agreements that we have in place, i.e. with the county, or to try to spur TxDOT to complete the projects that they say that they're going to complete when they're going to complete it. And more importantly, to give our residents the education that they deserve to have on who to communicate with for those problems.
Thank you so much. And that concludes my questions for you. Just one last thing, however, can you just restate what your district covers?
So again, my district covers is largely south of Meridiana Parkway, not Sierra Vista. So we're talking the east side of 288, south of Meridiana Parkway, and all the rural, quote unquote, rural area, if you will, but that South Meridiana area.
Thank you so much for that answer. And I would just like to, again, this is your opportunity to take in all of the information, to make informed decisions when you're going to vote, but also to know who you're voting for and make sure that they have your best interest in heart. So candidates for District C, this is your council person. Thank you. Okay, and moving on right along, we want to be mindful it's Saturday. We want to welcome to the stage candidates for council person position 1, Steve Sanders and Nikki Brooks. I'm sorry, come on, everyone is welcome. Well, we definitely appreciate you all showing up. I do apologize. Okay. And our two gentlemen are going to allow the lady to go first. Okay. All right. Candidate Brooks, do you mind introducing yourself and just giving us some key points?
So, thank you guys so much for having me. A little bit about myself. Been married 26 years of my life. I got 3 amazing, beautiful children that it's been an honor to raise. But myself, I have been heavily engaged and involved in civic and political advocacy and activism from the time I was a kid knocking on doors in NAACP. I have chartered 2 NAACP chapters. I've been the president of one. I am on the representing the Ron Journal African American think tank, which is now the Coalition of Black Professionals. So I have a lot of, and that's just a limited list. It's been years of political activism. And the place that I like to sit, typically, I like to sit at the top to hold people accountable and build a bridge to get people to engage and involved in politics. That's typically where I like to be. But why am I running for office and why now? It's really just a trifecta of like three kind of perfect forms of things. The first one is that it's a 1 year term that came up, and it's like, wait a minute, this is a perfect opportunity to get in and engage in systems that I critique from the outside and that I pronounce, best practices upon. The second thing is that my bandwidth is opening up because my daughter is graduating high school. My last one is leaving in this, so we're going to be implementing, and I'll have some more bandwidth. And it's an opportunity for me to, instead of doing so many things on this higher, legislative level, I can get engaged and involved and impact my community. I think that right now our time is going fast, and we are at a once in a generation opportunity. We actually get to be the counter folks. We get to be the people that are actually navigating and building and determining what this future is going to look like. And so personally, my work is in organizational development and change management. And y'all see me honest on the time. I can't even hardly see nothing right now. So, of you, okay, all right. So I don't want to run over anybody's time, but my work is in organizational development and change management. And what I typically do is I come into a system, I decode it and understand what's going on, and then I help process improve it. So that's one of the things that I really am running on, the strength of coming to a team that has already done some incredible things. I don't think anybody understands the magnitude of what these individuals have done over the last years to charter a city in to do a city charter in 2022. To also be faced with this influx of growth that nobody could predict. They've done an amazing job, but they can't do it all. They need some additions to the team. And so that's where I am asking people to put the trust in me, to allow me with my experience and confidence and expertise to come into my home city, help give some process improvement, and establish some things that help that team so it can be better for them and it can be better for all of us later on. So that's what I'm asking for. That's why I'm running. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, candidate. Candidate Sanders, same question to you. Tell us a little about yourself and what you bring to this position, or what would you bring to this position?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve Sanders, and I'm running for City Council at Large, Position 1. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I'm a 20-year union member. I was also a union secretary-treasurer. I have experience in, number one, working on boards. I've been active in the union and the labor movement, and also getting capital improvement projects done. I'm the president of a credit union, and we're in a transition phase to try to offer more services because our credit union's been around 60 years, and we need to come out the Stone Age and come into the light, so to speak. Well, one of my biggest accomplishments was when I was working for the union, was also coming out of the Stone Age to the light, was when we moved our union hall. We took on this $5 million plan of building a new union hall. Our union had been around for 100-some years, and they were doing stuff the old-fashioned way. And I was elected the secretary-treasurer at 32, and we put up this plan, brand new state-of-the-art union building. And I'm here to serve. I'm here to help solve problems. I have 3 kids, 2 of them over there. I'm here, I'm gonna be here for the long term. I'm not going anywhere. I used to live in League City. So that is my reference point on what our colony can be. Because I was in League City for 7 years and I've seen the growth that they experienced. So I want to make sure our colony is a safe place for my children and make sure it's better for them when they grow up. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Sanders. Candidate Eisenberg, can you introduce yourself to everyone and give us some key points on why you would be a great candidate for this position?
Of course. Thank you very much for asking. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Iowa Colony, friends, family, neighbors. I'm proud of all y'all for attending this morning. It's Saturday morning. This is supposed to be our sleep-in time or yard work, right? So the fact that everybody's here, thank you very much for taking the time. Thank you very much to every single fellow candidate that is here, because I am proud of all of us for standing up for what's right? That is the reason I am here, is because I am a millennial, right? But I am now middle-aged. I hate to say it. I'm close to 35, and it's time that my generation gets thoroughly involved. I like to think that we've built up the experience over, well, like 20 years in the workforce so far, right? I attended Baylor for neuroscience. I'm a jack of all trades. I've done it all. I've worked everywhere from multi-million-dollar 3D printers to helping Tesla adapt and move through COVID when that hit us. And we all know that hit us hard and fast down here, right? Life waits for no man. It waits for no business. It waits for none of us. So we got to be ready to adapt when the time comes. My wife, Sarah, and I have lived in this area for roughly 2 years, but I am Houston born and raised. I have lived all over Houston. I've lived inside the city loop. I've lived east side of 45, west side of 45, Derry, Ashford, River Oaks. I mean, you name it, I've been there. To the point where I said, I would never move back to Houston or the greater Houston area because I hate the traffic. But, met a girl, and story as old as time, right? The three main things that I am actually focused on are, number one, this is an at-large position, right? So we are not a district. We are all of Iowa Colony, from north to south, east to west. So one of my main things is developer accountability. I have experience in real estate and in the inspection service industry, and I can't tell you from just a personal level on just normal builders when they're building your lot to developers when they're actually building our streets that are supposed to last us 25, 30 plus years, and how many corners these people cut. It's insane. I'm sure if you have a little bit of knowledge of what the houses are starting to look like and how fast some of these guys are going up, think about that 20 years ago and what kind of impact that would make. If they're doing this to just the daily person in their normal home, imagine what they're doing to our whole city as a whole, right? Sarah and I just moved down here a few years ago. This is where our roots are set, and this is where I plan on being for quite a bit of time, if not for the foreseeable future. So I want to be involved, and I want to make sure we hold those developers accountable. Number two is I want an increase in our city services. Right now, the police are our main city service. I know we just got them 2 new vehicles, I believe, and I know from the perspective of all of Iowa Colony, we want a little bit more presence all over, not just in the Sterling Lakes area or the west side of 288. Okay, number two. And number three, I would like to streamline any communication that the city has with our citizens. This goes from revamping the website, which is broken in some areas, to just creating public PSAs that this is the proper way for your kids to be riding scooters whenever they're going to school, right? This is what a water moccasin looks like if you never lived in Texas before, right? Avoid those little things like that. And I believe as a team, together, the whole council can accomplish this. I look forward to y'all's vote on May 3rd. It is a Saturday. I expect everybody there. Okay, Saturday. No excuse. Thank y'all very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Candidate Eisenberg. So we're going to start with the questions now. And Candidate Brooks, what area of need do you feel is most important for the citizens of Iowa Colony? And how do you plan to address or remedy that issue or concern?
Okay, so it's kind of a twofold thing, but it goes together. So the first area of need is communication. It has to be a bridge built between citizens understanding what we need to know, what we got to understand, and what we got to do. Now that goes to what I believe is an immediate ballot concern right now, and that is the 5 things that are on the ballot that are confusing everyone. So we have, and one thing about Iowa Colony is that everybody, we seem small, but everybody's ballot is different. You can have a ballot that's different from somebody that's 2 streets over from you. There are 5 things on that ballot that are extremely important. 3 of them have to deal with mud, which personally, no. If you see it, vote no, because essentially mud is asking for more money to pay for services that they technically did not deliver on. And so you are paying mud for a loan that they took out years ago. You are paying the city now for doing the services that the mud didn't do. And now the mud is coming back and asking you not only to vote yes for another $70 million loan that they're going to take out for services that they're going to be doing in new developments. So you pay in 3 times. They want you to pay 3 times, and the language in it says with no cap on taxes to recoup the money for the loan. That's not wisdom. Nobody knows what's going on. That's the first big thing. The other 2 things on the ballot that are of concern is the MDD and then the ESD. The MDD is something, and I've seen people trying to confuse it with the MUD. MDD is us giving the money that like McDonald's and all them people are paying to come do business here, and you got to deal with their traffic. The money and the taxes that are going to go on that, we want to say yes and keep that money in the city. So you want to say yes for MDD. You want to keep that money in the city. Then when you have the ESD, that's one that personally, I think there is a level of miscommunication between like our fire and safety people and then our city council. I think it is a tomato kind of thing. And my concern is that for citizens, because we got to vote on it in less than 30 days, we need to understand so we make an informed choice. It's really not about picking the sides. It's about understanding what's going on with it. So what's happening with the ESD is that there's money that you already paid to Brazoria County Emergency Services, and they deal with all the emergency services in the county. And so you're paying the ESD, and when you think about like our fire chief, they're like, oh, ESD built our fire station and they fund us. Well, they do, but we spent the money there. We sent the money to that spot. And so, there's a little bit of a disconnect here on what really needs to happen. And so I believe one of the things that is extremely important and that I personally have been trying to have endeavored to facilitate some information on, spoke with the fire chief last night, it'll be at the council meeting on Monday, have been trying to build a bridge with our council members. Councilman Varlack, who you know is a walking encyclopedia of knowledge and information. Every time he opens his mouth, you're going to know what's going on, just to understand what's going on so we know what to vote for. So that's my spiel there.
Thank you so very much. And candidate Sanders, same question to you. What area of need do you feel is most important to the citizens of Iowa Colony, and how do you plan to address or remedy that issue of concern?
Thank you. I agree with Nikki, and not just by communication, but also by the dissemination of that communication. Because a lot of residents, they are unaware, and I think that we need to do a better job. It's one thing to put the information on the website, and you got to click through 10, 11, 12 prompts and try to find it. But it's another thing I think we need to blast out this information. We need to set up mass communication, mass texting, mass email signups, and meet the people so they can know what's going on. Because the website, it's okay, but we're in this comprehensive plan, and I personally, I want to know where exactly are we within this comprehensive plan. And I can't see exactly what's the status of this comprehensive plan, and that's what we need to know. We need a dashboard. So whatever projects we have, we can know exactly where we're at, when they're going to be finished, when they're going to be completed, because if we have this communication, we won't have so many people asking, when is this going to be done? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with the bridge, the traffic? I've been out here 4 years, and I've only been out here 4 years, and the traffic has gotten worse. I agree with you. But where are we within these plans that we already have? Because we have great plans. And I've read them. I read the Parks plan. We have great plans, but where are we within them? So I think we need to get better dissemination of information out to just the regular people like you and me, because I'm just regular.
Thank you so much, candidate Sanders. Candidate Eisenberg, same question to you. What area of need do you feel is most important to the citizens of Iowa Colony, and how do you plan to address or remedy that issue or concern?
Well, I think we've all touched on it so far at this point, but it goes back to developer accountability, right? Because our area is at large. It involves the whole city. So when they build a road, we make sure they build it correctly. When they build a new waterway or part of the sewage system, we check to make sure it's done. And I don't know if you know right now, but currently there's roughly 2,000 inspections a month that need to be done. And we have like less than, I think, 5 people-ish that are doing those inspections, and 2 of those are outside hires, not even part of our city staff. So my plan for immediate remediation of this issue is to work on hiring more city staff to get us more inspectors, to keep these people accountable. Because every dollar that we spend right now is going to save us thousands of dollars here in 15 to 20 years. So much. That's really the plan in a nutshell. I'm sure there's a lot more that's going to go into it, but otherwise it's making sure that we have the manpower to service our city, which we do not currently have. $2,000 a month for under a handful of people is just an impossibility, and things are going to fall through the cracks. Especially if we're going to review our city plan here in the next year or so, because we're at the 6-year mark, right? 2019 was 6 years ago. Then it's important that when we build this new plan, we keep the developers accountable, we keep the home builders accountable, and we keep our citizens happy and taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Candidate Eisenberg. And I'm going to start with the next question with you because you just, you kind of touched on it. Infrastructure. Iowa Colony is growing by leaps and bounds. What plans do you have to mitigate the transition of this growth?
I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record now because it really goes all back to developer accountability. It goes back to making sure developers are held to certain lot sizes, right? So that way they can't build a ton of tiny homes. And because the more homes that they build, the more inspections that we need, right? Same thing goes for commercial development. We need to make sure that whenever people are developing commercially, that they aren't asking for variance on top of variance and, oh, we'll come into your city, but you got to give us this and you got to give us that. I think I said it the other day at the other seminar. We are the last place to truly have growth in the greater Houston city area. You can't go north anymore unless you go all the way past Magnolia, right? You're pretty much driving to Renfest at that point. You can't go east because you're going past Encadena, you're going past Pasadena, right? Way past Channelview. You can't go west anymore because now you're going past Pecan Grove, Rocher, and Katy. That's so far. I think we all know the saying, Houston's an hour away from Houston, right? It takes us roughly 45 minutes to get to Houston proper from here. It takes us roughly 20, depending on what Highway 6 looks like, maybe even 25 just to get to Highway 6. So it's important that we take care of our area, we take care of our local businesses, and that we hold everybody accountable who's going to be in our area. I spent a lot of my time growing up in Spring, both the east side and the west side, and I would love for our development to turn out a smooth nicer, just a pinch, because they have 99 going through there right now. And if you're curious on what this area is going to end up like, I think you need to drive an hour and a half north and go see what 99 on the Spring side looks like and tell me that's where you want this area to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that answer. For candidate Brooks, same question. Iowa Colony is growing. What are your plans to mitigate the transition of growth?
So it's a couple of things because we focus on it's 3 call outs for me. You have the traffic, that's one. I think we need to understand how that really works. I noticed today Councilman Boyce posted something from the mayor that's his role to facilitate this conversation through our representatives to text DOT to get accountability for the status of what they're doing with the roads. So for instance, over here at Davenport, you have this bridge. Now I got a high schooler. This area going to school in the morning with all the traffic. What'll happen is people either go down Sierra Vista or they come here on 288 and then they hurry up and speed and try to take that little loop to get to the high school. It's extremely dangerous, especially for new drivers. It is not okay. So that TxDOT bridge, we need accountability there. That is, and our mayor is already actively, literally as we speak, I saw today, he's actively engaging the right way to do it, to give voice to us. And we need to understand how those things work as citizens, what that goes. The second thing is, which as far as schools concerned, the second thing is infrastructure. Now, my superpower lies in digital equity and the digital economy. In 2021, there was the Investment Infrastructure Job Aids Act that the Biden administration put out. It is already in progress and play, but essentially what happened is that results in an influx of billions of dollars into individual states to build their infrastructure first. There's 2 parts. The BEAD part is building their infrastructure for broadband access and accessibility and the strength of it. And then the second part of that is where we're building up the digital economy that deals with digital equity. Now, a lot of those things are in play coming down the pipe right now. As a city, we have multiple opportunities and entities to tap into those monies, to tap into those billions as entities, from City Hall to companies that are laying broadband to roads. As long as it can be tied into something that ultimately increases or enhances our digital economy and our access, we can qualify as an entity. And so there needs to be a bridge that's built as an entity, because we need to understand a lot of that information, a lot of that money, again, infrastructure, job aid, infrastructure, investment, jobs. That's what the money is all about. We need to tap into it.
Thank you, Candidate Brooks. Candidate Sanders, same question. What are your plans to mitigate the transition of growth?
Thank you. As we know, me personally, as far as traffic, I don't like traffic. And my wife can tell you that I'm a person who will quickly get off the highway and navigate through to avoid traffic. So I know all the ins and outs of getting to Meridiana to avoid that traffic, because I'd rather move than sit in the traffic. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain, brothers and sisters in Sterling Lakes. And I can't understand why a neighborhood that's fully developed, I think all neighborhoods need to have more than one exit in and out of these neighborhoods. And I think that's part of the problem that we're experiencing, because while we're waiting on this bridge, because if we had an alternative, and I did recognize that the Planning and Zoning Commission did just pass in March the Sterling Lakes North going to Cedar Rapids, when that's very needed. You know, it's past due, honest. Just being honest, it's past due. And as far as public schools, I got two little babies. One of them's going to Meridiana next year. The other one's going to Meridiana the year after. And it doesn't have to be my child to care about kids getting to school safely. There was a kid who got hit in the hit and run a few months ago, and I felt the pain, and I reached out to that parent, because no child, no parent should have to receive that phone call about their kid leaving school in the ambulance. So my kids they're in pre-K, they have sidewalks and crossing guards, they have cones in the street. You only have one lane. They'll slow everything down. If that's what we need to do, if we need to go to the school board, because I heard Councilman Varlek talking this morning about all the taxes we're paying, and while he was talking to Miss Naomi back there, while she was complaining about she not having enough service, have to raise funds. If we need to mobilize and organize and go to the school board and raise hell, let's do it. I'm sorry, because first, but thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Last question. What are your ideas and plans regarding open spaces, parks, restaurants, public libraries, and family-friendly venues? And we'll start with candidate Sanders.
Thank you. As I said earlier, I like the parks master plan. If you haven't had a chance to read it, yes, you got to dig on the website. I can email it to you and shoot it to you. It's about 100 pages, but it's beautiful. And I can't wait for it to get started. As I say, it needs to be publicized, because I can't wait it has a bridge that goes over 288. You can ride your bike. Me and my girls, we ride bikes, or they ride in the back. I'll pull them on the bike, I should say. But it's beautiful, and I can't wait for it to get started. I can't wait for it to get funded. And I want to make sure that everybody knows about it, so we can all use it, because it affects not just us in the subdivisions. Most of the parks are going to be out in the rural areas. This is an at-large position, and we got to make sure that our rural residents aren't left behind. So I'm all for it. I'm also for an entertainment district. You know, I live in the League City, main event, all that's entertainment district for kids, bowling alleys, skating parks. Let's do it. So those are my plans that we can attract entertainment, and I agree with the Parks Master Plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Sanders. Candidate Brooks, same question. What are your plans regarding open spaces, restaurants, public libraries, and family-friendly event?
So a couple of things piggybacking on the parks and open spaces, that is keeping developers accountable for what they have done and then or what they're doing, and then maintaining that parks plan and making sure we revisit it. The second thing is really about providing support to the Planning and Zoning Committee. The Planning and Zoning Committee is uncompensated. That commission is unpaid. Uncompensated is people that are bringing their minds together to do that. There is support that is needed there. That is a lot of work. The growth has the growth is just beyond. We know what the growth is. There's support that's needed there because those are the individuals that help bring in and plan out this city. They help commission those things. In addition, we likely need a city planner because that's a professional position. You have a city has a city manager, a city has a city planner, and then they're able to use a commission to support and hold them accountable for the job that they do instead of having people doing it for free 99 out of passion. No. Yeah, that's it. And then the third thing is really the restaurants and entertainment. That goes back to our MDD. That is why that is important to say yes, because we have, if you're coming, I appreciate the McDonald's. We don't need another pizza place. But if you're going to come over here and put another pizza place, we need that shmoney so that we can do some other stuff and bring something else over here. Because personally, I'd like some Chinese takeout. I just don't want, I'm tired of the pizza. But there a Chick-fil-A, something. So, you know, that's that MDD is extremely important there. And then when it comes to the libraries and learning spaces, again, for me, that a lot of that can be funded from digital equity. When you look at right now, mainly library systems are the most people in position to get loads of digital equity money, because all digital equity is about is access to things that get delivered over the internet. So whether that's telehealth, whether that is working remote, whether that is workforce development or a job or training, if it comes over the internet, whether it's social media or content development, that is money. It's considered digital equity. So your library and any other learning space, they're right in point in line to get those money. So that's those four things are how I envision and see the priorities and the plans for our development.
Awesome. Thank you, Candidate Brooks. Candidate Eisenberg, same question. As the city grows, what are your ideas and plans regarding open spaces, restaurants, public libraries, family-friendly event venues?
So I'd actually break this up into three different sections: green spaces, entertainment venues and restaurants, and then libraries. Let's start with libraries real quick. Right now, I know we do have one that is currently being planned, but we can go ahead and start collecting now. That is something that we can go ahead and we can find a storage space of some sort. We can try to get with the American Library Association, the Texas Library Association, to see about getting some grants to potentially be able to get this ball rolling sooner rather than later. That's a big thing on the libraries. I'm all for them, but I would also love some grants so that way it doesn't cost us a ton of tax dollars. Okay. On the entertainment venues, it's important that we start growing our Chamber of Commerce. It really is. I worked closely with the Chamber of Commerce in Bryan College Station for years, and their chamber is over 300 businesses, all from a few handful of mom and pops to people that have 500 to 1,000 plus employees. Each person, each business communicates with each other. They grow together, and they promote growth within our own city. It gives our own citizens the option to say, hey, you know what? I do feel like starting a Chinese restaurant. Or you know what? I do feel like with Alvin Bowling to start my own bowling alley over here. The opportunities are endless, but we need to give our citizens the support, and a good way to do that is going to be through the chamber. We also need to start voting with our dollar, okay? If we don't want McDonald's, we don't want Five Guys, if we don't want any more of that stuff, which they are staples, and staples hold us together, right? They keep us together. But you can go to Dilly's right across the street and get a catfish combo for like $9. And I think a Happy Meal right now is like $10 or something like that. So 2 bean burritos, Taco Bell is like $8-9. So if we want local restaurants and we want different food options, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. If somebody makes something good, help them pursue it, right? Get behind them. So that way the city can get behind them in the future with the chamber. Same thing goes for entertainment venues as well. Same page. I do have one other side note that I didn't get to really mention today, and that is I do believe it is important that we go ahead and start our PSA program if we haven't already. This includes everything from proper use of scooters and bicycles as our city streets get more and more crowded, which will happen, to informing citizens on what a tongue twisted, what a water moccasin looks like, so that way if they get bit, they know that they need to get help immediately versus like a garden snake. Because we are a growing community and not everybody here is rural. When I was in Spring, it was cows around my school. Like, it was it. Now, you have people moving here from cities, from all over, who have never seen like a snake in their life, who don't know how dangerous a little brown recluse is, right? And unfortunately, some people just don't know how to cross the street too. So it's important that we release these PSAs and communicate with our citizens on a daily and normal basis, so that way everybody stays informed and safe and entertained. I'm a bird watcher. I like birds. I got to see a robin this morning, so cool. Thank you all for y'all's time.
Again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all. I don't live in Iowa Colony, but I am excited. You all have informed us, and I agree. Communication is why we do these forums. The majority of the things that you all have discussed today, I'm quite sure none of the residents truly understood or could comprehend what they're voting for and what the ask of the community is. So we truly appreciate you all coming, and this is why we do what we do. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone, for your time today. Greatly appreciate y'all being out.
Everybody.
And good job, guys.
All right, at this time, we'd like to welcome to the stage Mayor Will Kennedy and Douglas Chombley. Sorry. Welcome, gentlemen. It seems like we have saved the best for last. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all again, and starting with Will Kennedy, would you stand and give us a little about yourself and some key points of why you are seeking re-election?
Absolutely. Thank you, Attorney King. Appreciate that opportunity. Thank you, Crossing Point, for opening your doors to the community today and in days previously. You've been a partner of mine for some time, and for that I am grateful and thankful. Under the leadership of Pastor Craig and Shannon Hayes, you guys have stood as a beacon in the community. And I say that because, let the facts speak what they may, where we are, the ground we stand on, right now, it is not in the city of Iowa Colony. That's just how ins and outs it is in this city that we call home. And I am proud and happy to call it home. My wife and I have been here with our boys since 2019. We've been in Brazoria County since 2006. You get people have allowed me to serve on your city council since 2021. And in that time, we have seen some challenges, and we have more challenges ahead of us. Right now, one of the greatest aches and sources of contention is just trying to get out onto Meridiana Parkway and get to 288 North. It is a challenge. We're seeking resources, we're seeking support, and we're seeking help to try to address that. Quite frankly, we don't run TxDOT, but Austin does fund TxDOT, and we're reaching out to Austin to get help from Austin. So, about me, I am the son of an Army veteran and a school teacher. My life has been about service prior to even graduating school, right? Worked in the Attorney General's campaign, sought to be involved, worked in the legislature to serve, have encouraged service through junior achievement and other examples. Work as a YET mentor right now, have been excited to be a part of that program. We have twin boys, they're sophomores at Iowa Colony High School. My wife Andrea is joining me here this morning. I am excited about our future. As I sat here and listened to my fellow colleague on the dais speak earlier, and I shared with his wife, he set a high standard. I hope to live up to it. As I sat at the open position for position 1, and I listened to the various candidates share their perspectives, thoughts, and ideas. As I've shared previously, and I'm going to share again today, there is room for service for everyone here in Iowa Colony. We have planning and zoning, we have the council. Only one person will win each of these elections, but there's a lot of work for us to do here in Iowa Colony. There are mud boards that need elections, and they need to have local citizens serving on those mud boards. We need to decide what we do with our tax dollars here. So I thank you all for your education efforts. I thank you all for your edification efforts. I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve as your mayor for these last 2 years, and I am humbly asking you to allow me to continue to serve as your mayor going forward. What I offer to you is level-headed, laser-focused leadership that will work collaboratively and build relationships to move Iowa Colony forward so that it is the city that we all desire and want for it to be. It's not my Iowa Colony, it is our Iowa Colony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now to the stage, Douglas Chumley.
Good morning. Thank you very much for coming out. Got to tell you up front, I'm a little nervous. Good morning. My name is Douglas Chumley. I've lived in Iowa Colony since 2015. I've been married to Sarah Dixon for the last 12 years. We have 3 children, Marshall, McKinley, and Millie. They all attend Bell Sanchez Elementary School. My undergraduate degree is in marketing. I have an MBA in business. I have a real estate broker's license. I have a general insurance license, as well as health, life, and auto. My work experience has been a licensed funeral director and embalmer in the state of Texas for over a decade. I've been an escrow officer for a title company, as well as I'm currently an enrolled agent and own my own business. I am the PTO treasurer of Bell Sanchez Elementary School and have been for the last 4 years. I'm the vice president of the Brazoria County MUD 31 and have just begun my second 4-year term. I am the president of the Sterling Lakes POA and have been for the last 4 months for a 2-year term. I'm currently the chair of the district committee of the city of Iowa Colony. I too served on the charter committee. I am the secretary of the tax increment reinvestment zone known as TERS, which is also partnered with the ICDA. I will soon be a member of the Iowa Colony Junior High PTO as well. I share all this to show you that I've been involved and have a broad knowledge of the city. I am familiar with our issues as well as our current city council members. We do not provide city services for all of Iowa Colony. We have not updated our city ordinances in over 3 years, which is a 2-year term. That should be a concern for everyone. We make things in Iowa Colony that extend the term of our city council members with no guarantee that the next council will implement what we've laid in place. That should be concerning or alarming to all of our residents. We make variances for developers under the guise of economic benefit, but we do not for residents during that same 3 years. There is no sense of urgency to implement any of this talk. As far as City Hall talks about lots of things, but we haven't implemented it. As far as from the city charter that I brought that they talk about, we haven't implemented lots of things, especially for rural Iowa Colony. But you're going to hear every incumbent tell you this morning, and they have, if you'll just give them one more term. I don't understand why anyone hasn't asked, why didn't you get it done last term? I'm very passionate about our community, and I believe it's worth standing up for. That's why I'm running for mayor. I look forward to this morning's discussion, and I'm asking everyone here to have an open mind as well as a servant's heart. I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chomley. And first question goes to you. What is the most pressing concern you feel that needs to be addressed in Iowa Colony, and how, if elected, would you address or remedy that concern?
Well, we have two things. The first is, as has already been mentioned, as far as last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, our city manager resigned, got let go, depending on how you want to look at it. So whoever's reelected, our new city council, mayor, will be picking, appointing, selecting our new city manager. That's a big deal. We are run by our city manager. I don't think it's a secret to anybody that is aware. I was never a fan of our current or former city manager. I think we paid him a very large salary for someone that was very unqualified. We did a study when we hired our previous city manager that stated for the rate in which we paid him, we could have hired someone that had 10 years experience. He had none. We paid him over $300,000 a year with a benefits package close to $500,000. I think most people would say that's a lot of money. I certainly did. I hope we do a better job in our selection for our new city manager. Most pressing to the residents that actually live here now, I would say is most pressing concern for the city of Iowa Colony faces is to provide city services equally throughout the city. We have been allowed, as far as we have been allowed to use our rapid growth as a scapegoat to sidestep the inefficiencies of public works, code enforcement, animal control. For the last 5 years, we've had county dollars not spent in our city due to the lack of a business relationship with 2 county commissioners. Many people are unaware. Iowa Colony sits in 2 different precincts. Why don't we have a better relationship with our county commissioners to utilize their knowledge, their expertise? I certainly ask that. TxDOT, what's going on with our overpasses as well as the timing of our traffic lights? Question that I'd like to ask, who is our liaison at the city level with TxDOT? Who is that person? I certainly don't know who they are. Heaven forbid we got them to clean the sidewalks on the one completed overpass we have. Wait until we get them all completed. What are we going to do? Because we can't even keep one sidewalk cleaned. The city needs to use its leverage to get high-speed internet as well as telephone services available to rural Iowa Colony. The city also needs to utilize its influence and negotiate pricing for rural Iowa Colony to have trash pickup. Now that it has taken over the MUDs, which provides services, trash collection, this, if you'll give me a minute, I'm about to dry mouth, and I apologize. I hope that counts for 30 seconds. There was all discussion back when I was on the charter committee 5 years ago, prior to the redistricting committee. Again, we all talk about great ideas. We just have a problem implementing them at City Hall. When I talk to people that are currently on city council, lots of these things are talked about. They're stuck at City Hall currently. Why can't we get them to fruition? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chomley. For candidate Kennedy, what has been your most impactful achievement during your term as mayor? And this is a two-part question, so I'll let you answer that and then move forward.
Thank you, Attorney King. So, what is my most impactful achievement? I had the pleasure and honor of serving with some of the most outstanding people here in the city of Iowa Colony on that council. Collectively, okay, to borrow a phrase I heard from one of my fellow council members, collectively, we have collaborated with the former Alvin Manville Area Chamber of Commerce to recognize the force that is the city of Iowa Colony. They have rebranded to the name of the Northern Brazoria County Chamber of Commerce. Why is that? Because Iowa Colony is a force to be reckoned with and considered. They want to be inclusive, and they want to recognize that it's bigger than us. We were instrumental in that effort. Councilman Varlack chaired that and worked with that chamber to bring that change to fruition. We partnered, collaborated with Crossing Point Church, and we put on a town hall event here. One of the offspawn of that town hall event was our Teen Advisory Council. Councilman Boyce chairs that Teen Advisory Council. That Teen Advisory Council reaches out, engages, and connects with our young people, our future leaders, to see what their concerns are and to address their issues. Those are just a couple of them. Now, we are, as a city, in the process of taking over wastewater treatment and water provision. It has been an ordeal and a process, to say the very least. But we have managed to take it over from Mud 31. Mud 32 has conveyed, and let's put some names and faces to these terms that I'm using, just in case we don't know what Mud 31 is or what Mud 32 is. We're talking about Sterling Lakes is Mud 31. Mud 32 is Sierra Vista West. Those have been conveyed to the city. The city is underway with a utility fund, so we don't have to tax citizens, with the utility fund to support the capital improvement projects. This upcoming Monday night, on the agenda, our city engineer is going to be talking about what we are going to be considering for that capital improvement plan. That's happening right now. Now, there's room for improvement. Absolutely. Yes, there is. I had the honor of visiting with Councilman Varlack last night. And as I looked at that sign that we have on that beautiful building that the city has, I said, and we talked, why doesn't that sign have a notice about the city council meeting on Monday night? No good reason or explanation. I offer that to you to recognize that there are opportunities for improvement, there's room for growth, and together we will improve and get better. I thank you for the opportunity to serve. I'm asking you for your vote and for the opportunity to continue to serve you and make our community the best Iowa Colony that it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. And as I stated, that question was two parts. Moving forward, what area would you like to improve upon for the city of Iowa Colony?
Great segue. It goes right back to that last little bit that I was talking about, the shortcomings and acknowledging those shortcomings in communication. You know, a lot of us deal with this intersection of Meridiana Parkway and 288 and the congestion that is that. Some of us are aware that we have a major project improvement going on with Iowa Colony Boulevard and Davenport right now. Slings and arrows of misfortune were being tossed my way, and my name was mud at Iowa Colony Junior High and Iowa Colony High School. Because one day they left and the road was open. They came back the next morning and the road was closed and being torn up. We've got to do better about communicating what is going to be happening. Now, we're under a time crunch. We have federal grant dollars. And if anybody's been watching the news and you see what's happening with federal grant dollars, you know that if you got them, you better get them to use. And we're under hard deadlines. So we couldn't wait for the summer when it would be more convenient because we wouldn't have parents taking kids to school every day. because of those hard deadlines, recognizing that we got limited resources, we're maintaining a constant tax rate, not increasing taxes here in Iowa Colony. Not since I've been on the council. No, we have not. We've maintained a constant tax rate. So we want to continue to do that. Patience, patience, and patience. I can't thank you enough for your patience as we work together to go through these growing pains. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Shumley, moving forward, if you are elected, what would you improve, or what would you like to see improved in the city of Iowa Colony?
We need to look at building standards, codes. I believe we need to build better quality homes, not more homes. We need to take care of residents we currently have before we get so excited about residents we don't. We need to consider negotiating with our developers to come complete retail packages, just as Pearland has done. We need to start negotiations and open communications with Pearland to gain their experience for our government. We need to emulate what's working in other cities and not recreate and start anew. I believe if we would address the issues that we currently have in Iowa Colony, we will set a cornerstone for our future. I believe for the last 4 years, we've been told to focus on our future of our rapid growth, and we have failed to address our current issues of Iowa Colony, as well as our over-expanded city government. We don't have to raise our tax rate. Our appraisal values continue to rise at an ever rapid rate. So our budget continues to grow. We don't focus that our budget hasn't gotten smaller. Our appetite continues to get bigger.
Thank you very much for that answer. Okay, now this one is going to be kind of a hard question, so I apologize in advance. The issue of transparency in City Hall, and specifically the mayor's office, has been mentioned by concerned citizens. How would you address this issue and make the office more transparent if necessary, or address the citizens' concerns? Candidate Kennedy.
Yes. So transparency, increased communication, and more information from the mayor's office and from City Hall. I'm so happy that you asked. Just last week, we increased the capacity with our website provider so that we have more capacity for iowacolonytx.org. We don't have as much capacity, can't put as much information out right now, honestly. Yes, there are things there that need to be updated. There are links that need to be refreshed. We have one person that is our IT department. That's our IT manager. Like many things here in the city of Iowa Colony, we probably need about 4 or 5 more, or 3 times or 4 times more. We just recently brought on an HR consultant. The HR consultant came in and said, "You're doing what with what? You have 35 people on staff, 35 employees. A city this size should have at least 100. That's 3 times the staff that we currently have." So I know that we have room for improvement, and we are going to get better and do better. We're going to have, what is it, artificial intelligence, right? That's AI, artificial intelligence capabilities being added to the website. So as constituents go to the website and want to figure out how to do something, those AI tools are there to assist them in what it is they're trying to do, from be it making a complaint to maybe offering a compliment about some good work that they saw some city employee out doing here in the city of Iowa Colony. So thank you. I'm open to the feedback, because that's how we get better. Continuous improvement is our goal. Better every day.
Thank you very much. Candidate Chumley, same question. The issue of transparency in City Hall, and specifically the mayor's office, has been mentioned by concerned citizens. How, if elected, would you address this issue and make the office more transparent if necessary, or address the citizens' concerns?
The fax provides a biweekly Meridian and Sterling Lakes lifestyle mail out. I'd ask them to increase that distribution to all of Iowa Colony, its CTJ, if needed, to supplement the cost, that the city would be willing to look into that, as well as a mail out every quarter for the first year to see what that response is. If it's positive, we would continue. If it is not, we will go every 6 months. Of this is what the city has done, and this is what the city is looking at doing as communication to the residents, as well as all of this information will be on our website as well as our Facebook page. I am open to any suggestions. Unfortunately, I'm not as tech savvy as I may look. I say that with a smile. Most days I'm just happy that my phone is working. As far as if I still have a few seconds, I'll use some fiscal responsibility. We currently pay $1 million a year in debt service for our current city hall, police station, with talk of desire of many to build an additional building called City Hall, where the former City Hall / police department existed, off of Iowa Colony Boulevard. We need to have a better relationship with the county, and Iowa Colony sits in 2 precincts. I've already discussed that. We have county dollars that go unused every year. We'll begin improving relationships, and both county commissioners could be a part of that. I can't stress that enough. They tax us, our budget grows, we have dollars that go unused. I think we need to really focus on using the monies we currently have.
Thank you very much for that answer. I know we've talked about this through each segment. However, I do want to put this question out there regarding infrastructure. Because Iowa Colony is growing at such a great rate, and there are so many things regarding infrastructure that needs to be addressed, either candidate can answer or decline to answer this question, but how would you, if elected or re-elected, mitigate the transition of growth regarding the quality of roads, ease of traffic, internet, water, sewage, and most importantly, establishing safe routes for our schools and our students?
So as it relates to what we can do as a city to make it safer for children to get to school, how we can address infrastructure, increasing the overall safety of our community, we've asked the police chief to lay out a 5-year plan, okay, and tell us what sort of resources are we going to need based on our projected growth rates. We know where our development is going to be happening. That's why we have the utility fund to assist us with our water provision, wastewater treatment. We have collaborated with Alvin ISD, as the councilman mentioned earlier, to put the sidewalk in because it was an issue for longer than it needed to be, but the difficulty was in working with the landowner. The city's honest efforts and intentions were there, and we wanted to put the sidewalk in. Once we finally got the conveyance in, we were able to proceed collaboratively with Alvin ISD to put that in. Just this past year, we worked with Alvin ISD to put on our first ever Martin Luther King parade and ceremony. That was a collaborative effort between the district and the city. We are working with our partners, not only at the county level, not only at the state level, but also right here where our children are being educated in public schools and Alvin ISD. So we're working with our community partners from the chamber to the ISD to our county commissioners as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Chumley?
If the question's still open, yes, ma'am. The truth is I reached out to Alvin Independent School District's Chief Putnell, and their mission statement's on campus. It's for students and teachers on campus. They have no mission, desire, manpower to do anything regarding traffic control. Our police department, I see in Iowa Colony, doesn't have the manpower. Most of the time we have 2, if not 3 officers, if one on each side of 288 and a supervisor. They typically do not have time to assist with traffic control at our present state, and that's not going to change in the near future. The safety of our children going to and from school is up to our parents. We've addressed that issue, unfortunately, in Sterling Lakes regarding pedestrian gates, of children going around the pedestrian gates, choosing to walk into the streets of our traffic gates that are pinned open. We've had children, or a child that I'm aware of last year, that was hit by one of our own residents on the way to school. It will be a challenge. It will be a continued challenge in our community that will be ongoing because the dollars just aren't there. I am currently, as we speak, I have something going before the Commissioner's Court to ask for the blinking lights to come inside the gates of Sterling Lakes. Once that occurs, I will ask the City of Iowa Colony to do the city ordinance that they have everywhere else, but inside Sterling Lakes, to do their 20-mile-an-hour speed limits. So as far as with these things, those are all great initiatives, but it's going to be just as good as each residence. Laws only apply if the residents, or the citizens in this case, participate. So it's not an answer. It's not a solution. It's only going to be as good as what our residents want to do for the safety of our children this time.
Thank you very much. And at this time, we'd like to thank our candidates for mayor of Iowa Colony. And we appreciate your time and all of your valuable information. We hope that you have given more insight to the residents of Iowa Colony to make informed voter decisions coming May 3rd. Okay. Give us a brief moment. We're going to have all of the candidates come back to the stage for questions. Hello, everyone. We'd like the candidates to come back to the stage at this time.
we're ready with our first question. We have Brother Spencer Lodry, and he has a question for the panel.
Good morning, everyone. Please excuse my attire. I wasn't expecting it to be so formal. I normally wouldn't have come approach a group of professionals in hey dudes in sweatpants, so please forgive me. So I heard a lot about Sterling Lakes North, Sterling Lakes South, Sterling Lake East, Sterling Lake West. Heard a lot about Meridiana. But there's one community that I hadn't heard about, but we deal with the same traffic issues that these other communities. There are 1,000 homes in that community that I've probably lived in since year 2000. Can you address, and by the way, we just started paying our water bill to the city of Iowa Colony. So, but taxation without representation. I'm talking about Sierra Vista. Can someone please address when Sierra Vista will get the representation that the 1,000 homes and 5,000 family members back there deserve? Our kids go to Iowa Colony, high school, junior high. Well, we have our own elementary now, but talk to me. Thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you, Pastor and C3 committee for organizing this beautiful event. I'm a proud member of Crossing Point.
So I didn't quite catch the name, so I apologize.
My name is Dr. Spencer Lodry.
Dr. Spence?
Dr. Lodry.
Dr. Logan? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Logan, for that question. Loger, Dr. Loger.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for the question. So, further edification for those that don't know, I'm deaf in my right ear, and my left ear is pretty decent. So, my apologies, Dr. Loger. I hope I said it correctly. So, Sierra Vista West, per the development agreement, you will reach the target number of homes completed to be annexed into the city in 2031. We're doing everything we can to bring that date forward. And we feel good about bringing that date forward. We're on the World Wide Web, broadcasting to the world, so I don't know, the developers probably watching us too. Because one of the things that the council has done and continues to do is hold developers accountable. As we went forward with the Sierra Vista development, it was vitally important that the island be put in before any more construction and homes went up. As you heard the councilman talk about earlier, no permits issued until completed. We stayed in constant communication and contact with the city engineer on the progress of that project to ensure that it was done and progressing before permits were being allowed to go so the developer can get back to making money. We don't have an issue with developers making money. We just have an issue with them not delivering on what they have said they would provide to you, the constituents and residents in this community. So that's our issue. As your specific question, 2031 is when Sierra Vista West come into the city. We're working to bring that forward sooner. It's a process, and it's some negotiations and involvements to make sure that when you guys do come in, that it's the right time for all of us to bring you in. Because obviously, right, the sheriff is no longer going to be responding in Sierra Vista West. It'll be Iowa Colony Police Department. We've heard talk about the fact that at best we got 3 units on patrol. One is a supervisor, one in the east, one in the west, one in the north, one in the south. Whichever way you want to split it, it's only 3 units at best that are out there at a given time. So we are, and we have taken over. That was Mud 32. You heard me talk about the wastewater and water treatment in Mud 32 that we have taken over. So we're not on your tax bill, though. I will offer that caveat to you. We are not the city of Iowa Colony on your tax bill. We are providing services, and for those services, we are in turn collecting the monies related to those services. Alvin ISD is on your tax bill. Brazoria County ESD 3 is on your tax bill. Brazoria County Road and Bridge is on your tax bill. We looking forward to getting on your tax bill. We are, absolutely we are, because that just helps to make many hands makes for light work. So thank you for the question, Dr. Logan.
Doctor, I would just like to point out that as far as this council is concerned, Sierra Vista is not without a voice. Any Sierra Vista resident is welcome to contact any of the council members at any time to air your concerns. We are a single community. Just because you live in the ETJ, that does not mean that you're not a part of the Iowa Colony family. And so As far as I'm concerned, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to anyone. Air your concerns. We will address it because every voice in Iowa Colony is important. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marquetta Green Scott. I'm also on council. I'm Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Iowa Colony. I guess it's more of a clarification than a question because I couldn't say anything because I'm not on the ballot. But one, our city manager was not being paid $300,000.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to clarify that. Two, the taxes that you pay, we have to give some of those taxes back, a significant amount back to the developers because they invested in this city when it was not. So the previous council, and I always say we're making lemonade out of lemons. So the previous council made a development agreement with those parties, and they promised that they would pay so much back to them out of the taxes that we receive as a city as a rebate so that they could develop the infrastructure of the city. So my fellow council members up there, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I appreciate all of the suggestions and everything, but I took a little offense, I'm going to be honest, to the attacks that were made against us because we don't have all the money that you pay in taxes. It would be great if we did because then we wouldn't have 30 staff members as opposed to the 100 that we're supposed to have. Richardson has the same number of residents as Iowa Colony, and they have a full-blown staff. We don't have that. We are making lemonades out of lemons. And my fellow council members and my mayor, he can't say that because he can only answer the questions that were asked. But I'm going to defend them because I know the work that we do. And I'm asking every resident, I'm sorry, Ms. Robin, I'm almost done. I'm asking every resident to come to our council meetings, see what's going on so you can be informed and you know when somebody's pushing BS. That's it. Thank you.
I'd like to.
My mayor as well. What was our city manager being paid? What was he being paid when he was terminated? What was the paycheck? If you said he wasn't making $300,000, what was he being
We
paid?
need to move on and let the residents have an opportunity to talk. Residents,
Good morning. I'm Tamala Lewis. I live in Sterling Lakes.
Hi, Miss Tamala.
And we love Sterling Lakes. My husband, myself, our two children. We've been in the community since 2016, so we remember when there was no Pizza Hut, there were no stoplights, there was no overpass. And my babies were like, where are the cows going to go? I was like, they'll be okay. They're going somewhere. And so now it's an incredible community with so many new schools. So at any rate, some of this has actually been addressed at this point. But the question was, given the increasing demands on municipal services, do you believe that adding city personnel is necessary to support the existing staff? So I believe we have the answer. We know now that we do need more personnel. And so if so, what specific areas do you think require additional resources, and how would you prioritize these needs to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of our city's operations? And so I apologize, I didn't say thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for serving. Thank you to Crossing Point. And one little tidbit I want to add about Dr. Hayes and Dr. Hayes, Dr. Craig and Dr. Shannon. They've been here since my kid was at Meridian Elementary, and I met them 2016, 2017. And it was because I was involved with PTO and they were donating. So I just credit them on how they've been involved, been here for so many years, giving. And as Mayor Kennedy said, they're not even actually in Iowa Colony. So with that, I'm sorry. I'm going to mention the unity. I heard someone say today that we all need to, there's plenty of space. There's so much that needs to be done that we all just need to find our place and how we can help, whether you're elected or not. So trust me, I'm not at the meetings all the time. I've been to some meetings when we had the old building. And so I'm going to try again to get in the building and do what I can do. But at any rate, the question was about the personnel. So if we're going from 35, just kind of explain as best if you can, Mayor Kennedy. I think this is really for you, but if it's not, then. But how do we get there with the people? Of course, they got to get paid. So how do we get to where we need to be, and then how do we prioritize that? Thank you all.
If we can give one of the candidates an opportunity, if they have
Hello, Mrs. Taylor? Lewis, I'm sorry. So I think that as our city grows, we do need more staffing in all areas. And so it's up to the city manager and the council on how they prioritize where the needs are at. But as far as our growth rate and where we're going, we need more police officers, HR, IT. We need everything. And so if we can get a little bit here as we bring in more revenue, as we bring in more money, we should be able to afford more and should be able to provide more to our citizens.
I'm going to answer that from the standpoint of municipal governance and best practices. And I'm not going to go into my resume or any of the things I know. I'm just going to say, trust that what I'm saying can be backed up. There are best practices when it comes to municipal governance and growth. So first of all, you really truly need a trifecta of 3 professionals. You need a city manager, you need a city planner, you need a finance manager. Those are the 3 things that you need for any city. You need to invest in those professionals because that's just what you got to do. You need to be competitive. There are agencies and government headhunting agencies that can get you the best talent from any of those areas. So those are the 3 things that need to happen. Then your boards, your commissions, all these other things that citizens plug into, those things can come in and support those particular staff people. Then when you get those 3 staff people, because they are so high level, they gonna need assistance too. So you need a city manager and an assistant, you need a finance director and an assistant, and you need a planner and an assistant. So you at minimal need 6 staff people to actually, with the rate of growth we're experiencing, to actually assist us with what we're doing. And the council comes in, holds those people accountable. The council comes in, reviews their performance and things like that to make sure we ain't wasting money, make sure they're working, make sure they're according to best practice. But that is the bottom line structure of municipal governance. So that's what my response is. A good question.
Excellent question. Just to add to what you said, just want to quickly articulate what the city has already done in the last 2 years. So one of the big hires that we did was adding a city attorney. Mayor Pro Tem talked about some of these agreements that that previous councils got into. One of the candidates on the stage said that he was concerned that councils get into things that are going to not cross over on their terms. Well, these agreements, they are multi-year terms, and so they do cross over. But one of the challenges that we had is that previous councils didn't have access to a full-time attorney, so we added a full-time attorney. We also expanded the city finance department so that we could better manage the finances that we do have from a standpoint of not only in execution and auditing, but also from the standpoint of investing. We have continued to add police officers, which we're required to do based on population. So that's the police officers are the one where we don't really get a choice on when we get to add those. Those have to come due to the population. And so the challenge is how do we do that without reaching into your pocket every couple of minutes saying we need more money, because the mud is reaching into your pocket already. The county's reaching into your pocket already. Alvin ISD is reaching into your pocket already. Alvin Community College is reaching into your pocket already. And then you have your own bills to pay. And if you live in a POA like mine, guess what? They're reaching in your pocket already. So it's only so much that all the citizens can do. So we're trying to do this in a way that allows for us to sustain it. We don't want to be New Jersey. New Jersey grew fast. They had a huge tax rate, and guess what? Nobody can afford to live in some of those neighborhoods. Look at what they look like now. They're ghost towns. So we've done a lot already. There's still a lot that needs to be done. We need 4 times the staff we have now. We can't add them all at once. But as Ms. Brooks said, there is a plan. She outlined the plan that we have. We're working with an HR consultant now. So a number of things are being done. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Terry Hayes. I live in Sterling Lakes. Been there for 4 years. I'm also on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I'm also one of the journalists on Political Pulse. My question leads into what the Mayor Pro Tem was talking about, agreements that were made by past city councils. And any of you can answer the question. And again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and doing what you did this morning. We really appreciate everything you're doing and trying to represent our city. But this question is a hard question, and I want you to think about it before you give a good answer. My question is, what do you think is an appropriate tax rebate for developers in the city of Iowa Colony, Texas?
Oh, I'll go first on that one. And the reason why I say that is that everyone that has served on council with me knows one of my favorite quotes to tell developers. My city is open for business, but it is no longer for sale. So what does that mean in terms of appropriate rebates, though? Like whenever rubber meets the road, what does that mean? I am not personally in favor of any new special use districts in regards to things like TERSs. We've seen what that has gotten us. The PID was a little bit different. And again, I'm speaking at a higher level. Tax increment reinvestment zone is what Meridiana operates whenever everyone is talking about how money goes back to the developer instead of fully staying here. That's what they're talking about, is the tax increment reinvestment zone. What is it, an 80-20?
How much? 70%.
70-30 split. Yeah, 70% of what is taken in from Meridiana goes back to the developer. We get 30% of that. And that's all part of the agreements that are made. These are rebate agreements that Mr. Hayes has so graciously put out for us to answer about. We are at a point now where we no longer have to get into those type of development agreements, in my opinion. And therefore, yes, we are open for business. I want developers to come to us and negotiate with us and offer things like parkland in exchange for, instead of 60-foot lots, maybe a few 50-foot lots. I'm okay with those types of negotiations. What I'm not necessarily okay with is huge amounts of money going back to the developers, because I know that they are going to be making hand over fist in our community on their own. We are legitimately about 30 to 45 minutes away from the Med Center, as well as from Dow Chemical. That is a very sweet spot to be geographically. That alone should lure in what the developers are wanting, which is people to buy the homes or the disposable income for them to shop at the economic places that they are, economic retail centers that they are bringing in. So again, I say, my city is open for business, but it is no longer for sale. Those are two different words with two different meanings for a reason. Thank you.
All right. This is actually the last question, Minister Byron.
So my question is related to your fire department. Right now, we are covered and we are taken care of by the ESD. While we are not under the city of Iowa Colony, we are an integral part of this city. Right now, there are a number of things that are going on that we as a fire department, we need your assistance on. So my question to you is what are you going to do to advocate for us, to go before the ESD, to advocate and be the question, to ask the questions to the ESD of what are you all going to do for us? We are growing, and if most people don't understand, we are only a couple thousand people short of Manville. So as a city, we pay a lot of money into the ESD. along with Manville. We need advocates to go to the ESD and to push the ESD to understand that our fire department needs more. It needs help. So what would your plan be, or what would you do to assist this fire department in getting the funding that we need, so that we can become the fire department that Iowa Colony needs moving forward? Because let's be real, we are growing exponentially. We are annexing land a lot further away from where we are right now. So we are going to be in a position, not like Pearland, we're not going to be in a position to go full time, but we're going to need to become a combination department. And what that means is we're going to need paid firefighters in the day, and we're going to need volunteers at night. But we also need to incentivize those people. We also need to put gear on those people. We also need to make sure that we have the absolute best equipment for those people. And I need council people that are going to advocate for those things. So my question to you is, what is your plans to assist us in making sure that we are covered as a fire department?
I would love to answer that question. As already stated, I believe we have county dollars that aren't used. Believe we don't utilize our leverage. We have 2 precincts. We have 2 county commissioners. County commissioners appoint the ESD counselor board. The judge appoints, each one has an appointee. We should each reach out to those commissioners and use that leverage to get the dollars that we need. As was already stated, ESD is for the entire county. We are underrepresented all over the place because we believe we're Iowa Colony strong. We've put our head in the dirt. We need to look around. We need to utilize our unity to get those dollars. Why don't we reach out to the commissioners? Why don't we have a better relationship? Why do those dollars go unused? It's because we've not maximized those relationships. That would be my avenue. We would reach out to our county commissioners. We would start attending the county commissioner courts. We would build a relationship that we haven't had forever. That would be a great place to start building the relationships and start attending their meetings. Much like we don't attend MUD meetings, we don't attend ESD meetings. We don't attend commissioner court meetings. That's where the decisions get made. We choose to be on the outside because we're Iowa Colony, and that's the wrong place to be. The decisions are made before the board meetings occur, and we're never there either. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And we want to know why we don't get the dollars? Because we don't ask for them. That simple. It's not my anger. It's my frustration that you're hearing. Because I've been asking these questions, much like I'm sure our volunteer fire department has, since 2019. We got lots of great ideas in our city hall. They just can't get past the doors. Thank you.
Loud enough. First of all, thank you for serving on our volunteer fire department. It means a lot, right? It is a dangerous job, just like it is for the service for our police department, right? So that we can technically, as a city, back up our police department, and y'all are a separate entity, right? I am very, very for Prop A. I originally was 80-20 for it, and now 70-30. And now I'm back to 80-20. And the only reason I have any doubt for this proposition, because we have to give our firefighters money, right? We're growing. We have to. We have no choice. They serve 14 areas besides just ours, and then 3 others on top of that. So it's really 17 areas total, okay? So our ESD3, 17 areas. The only problem I have with Prop A is I'm a numbers guy, and I don't see where this money's going. They can tell me all day, hey, we're going to get you a new ladder truck. Cool. Can you put that in the budget? Can I get that in writing? Can I get that worded somehow to where we know we are going to benefit from that? Because unfortunately, I guess actually I disagree with you on this. We are the place to be. Iowa Colony and Manville are the tax people. We pay the taxes for all these 14 areas, plus the other 3 that ESD3 still gives money to out of our pockets. It is important that we get our fair share. And the way we're going to do that, Douglas, you're right, is we need to talk to those commissioners. We need to be talking to them on a daily basis, down their throat, working with them constantly. Our citizens got to be there too, right? I've been to a handful of city council meetings over the time since I've started this, right? Every time, I love seeing y'all there. It's incredible, but it's rare. It's just the way it is. And it's because of the timing. It's because of the lack of information. But in a nutshell, what I would do is I would back you up full force to make sure that we got our piece of the pie. I want to make sure that our tax dollars stay here as much as possible. Do I feel like there is a need to help these surrounding areas as well? Absolutely, right? Because a forest fire is a forest fire. It spreads like dominoes, right? One falls, everybody else goes. So it's important we look out for our friends and our neighbors. But it's also important that we get our fair share and that we work with ESD3 to do that. Thank you.
The question was how to advocate, and I just want to already just say this. I've already started that. Last night I had a conversation with the chief, and the couple of things that he said that I think are very important. Number one, he said that he's been asking people from the council to meet with ESD. He also said that ESD was coming to the city council meeting tomorrow to discuss some things. When you say advocate, for me, what I hear and based on what I heard from the chief is people haven't listened to y'all. They haven't listened to what you actually have said. Now, what the council is saying is accurate. What they're saying is accurate. We do pay into the ESD. And then it's like a pool. We pay the ESD, but then the ESD takes all that money from everybody and then they fund y'all. But we're funding the ESD. So while as firefighters, y'all may feel like you just, you caught in between, as the chief said, it's like kids watching a nasty divorce and nobody's really hearing what y'all are saying. But from a business perspective, number one, we need to hear y'all and advocate. But from a business perspective, we got to be accountable for our funds. Is it wisdom as Iowa Colony with this huge white collar money making population? Because let's not play about it. We make money. With this big money-making, tax-paying population, is it fair for us to put our money in a pool where someone else decides if what we need is priority and we growing faster than everybody else? So we're going to pay the most money in, and then we got to go beg for it to get out in comparison to other people. That's the disconnect. And we're not hearing, it's the disconnect. And the conversations are not happening between council and the fire department so that we can build the bridge for there. So and the reason I stood up is because regardless of the outcome of this election, I'm an advocate first. This is what I do. I am always like this. So regardless of this election, you're going to hear my voice. You're going to see what I'm writing. You're going to get my opinion out of this stuff regardless. That's just hands down what I do. And it's an area of passion for me. Bridge building is not just a little slogan. It's what I do. So with that being said, I feel that that's the real issue. The advocacy has to take place with these conversations. And so we understand what's going on to get to a happy medium. We value y'all. It's very clear that y'all are valued. We got all kind of brains on this council, for real brains, not for fake brains. And so, but it's got to be a medium in between because it's not there right now. And like them, I've been on that fence about the prop because I want more information. I'm milking the council for info. I'm milking the chief for info, and I'm trying to make it plain to share with people. So that's my opinion there on that, and that's how my plan to advocate for y'all goes beyond this.
So I just want to add to that. Excellent, Ms. Brooks. There's a couple things that are going on. First of all, this council has been committed as we work with additional MUDs. Previously, MUDs had worked out where on your water bill, you have the opportunity to donate $3 per cycle per customer that goes to our volunteer fire department. As we're bringing new developments in, that's one of the things that we're requiring them to do. So as we add another 3,500 homes or so, that is still going to be in place. That's going directly to the FD, and that's something we do control. I will say this, some of the candidates are going to find out that as on council, there are a lot of state laws that limit what we can and cannot say, what we can and cannot do in public with regards to some of these props. And I find it interesting that it was only when I made certain comments about this particular Prop A might not be the best situation for Iowa Colony because we're unique with regards to our annexation situation. That's when my phone started to ring and the commissioner wanted to talk. And so there will be a meeting at 3 o'clock on Monday, well before our city council meeting, where I'll be meeting with your commissioner and his directors, and we'll have a conversation. And if they have a plan that makes sense for all of the residents and we can get the communication out there, then we will. My concern is that I don't want to be the council person who makes a backroom deal with the commissioner and the voters see a prop on the ballot that says, I'm voting for this, but the commissioners have already made a back deal that says, even though you voted for that, what's actually going to happen is this over here. And so if they have a plan and they can put a plan in front of me that makes sense for Iowa Colony, I'll be happy to put that out there to the extent that I'm allowed, because we're on the council, the candidates can advocate. The people who are sitting on the council, we can't tell you what to vote for. I can't say, well, I want you to vote for this or that. I'm not allowed to. So in terms of the advocacy is already happening, but I think there also has to be a little bit of give and take with these commissioners. We have a good relationship with our commissioners, but it's kind of one of those things where, I hate to say it, I had an old minister say once that there are people who are like, everybody's a light. We're in church, I can say this because this is part of who I am. Jesus said, you're the light of the world, right? But there are different kinds of lights. Some people are blinking caution lights, on again, off again, on again, off again. And other people are holiday lights. You only see them at certain times, Christmas time. And for me, my relationship, what I've seen is that sometimes our ESD commissioners are like holiday lights. We only see them at certain times. But that's okay. When we see them, we're going to appreciate them and we're going to make the best use of it. So that meeting is going to happen on Monday at 3 p.m. And, we'll see what the commissioners, what their plan is for that. And once that happens, we'll see what we can put in front of the community because there's more information. It's a unique situation. I don't think people understand that for Iowa Colony, we got a McDonald's that is ringing the cash register. I mean, they are doing it. But that McDonald's is not yet in the city of Iowa Colony. It's not in the city limits yet. Right? It's supposed to be annexed. It's contractually obligated to be annexed, just like Sierra Vista. It's a done deal. So we got to work something out there together, and I'm looking forward to having the conversation. Bless you.
Since I'm not on city council, Prop A is a yes. See, that's the advocate is a yes.
Really quick. Oh, I'm sorry.
If you promise 1 minute.
1 minute,
Okay.
because I do have a conflict of interest on this. And so I do have a conflict of interest because that is my chief back there. Thank you for the wonderful question. It is definitely needed. I love our fire department beyond measure. I think that there's no hiding how I feel about that. What I will use my 1 minute to do is to really stress that you should all educate yourself on the ESD, the Emergency Service District, how those work and why they exist. All of that is important. Thank you for your time and thank you for the minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Crystal. So you may have heard in Iowa Colony, we play chess, not checkers. What we are attempting to bring about and trying to affect is ESD commissioners that are elected. Because when you talk about taxation without representation, we have ESD3 taxation. And they are, through our elected officials, appointed. But why can't we elect them? So we're working with the legislature to see about electing these ESD3 commissioners. because Iowa Colony Fire has my full backing and support. I just want to make sure that the money that goes from Iowa Colony into the ESD3 doesn't get spent everywhere else and the breadcrumbs make their way here to Iowa Colony. That is my concern. So as my council member has shared, Monday at 3, let's talk. Because Iowa Colony Fire has my full backing and support. And I hope that you know that, and you've always had it, you always will have it, but it's important to me that there be that things are right. I've been on 1128, I've been at the ESD3 office with Iowa Colony Fire, because it was important that we get it right. So I have backed you, I'll continue to back you. It's just important that it's right for the citizens of Iowa Colony. We're a closely connected community. You know, Byron, you and I both, as well as Councilman, we live in Meridiana. You don't know if you're in Manville or if you're in Iowa Colony, depending on where you are in Meridiana. So be it Manville Fire responding or Iowa Colony Fire responding, we just want, if we got a fire, that it gets responded. And if we have a medical need, that EMS is going to be there to get us on out to where we need to be. Thank you all for putting us on at Crossing Point today. Thank you for having us. Thank you, spouses, for allowing your significant others to be a part of this. Thank you. And thank you, council members. Everybody go vote. Early voting starts April 22nd. Election day is May 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. We have gone over time, and I just think that speaks to great conversation that we've had today. We thank you for coming. We thank you for your participation. As the mayor has said, just a quick couple of announcements. Yes, one being that early voting does start on Monday, April 21st, as well as Election Day is Saturday, May the 3rd. So we just encourage you to make sure you have a plan to vote. Please bring someone with you. Encourage other people to vote as well. And also just want to invite you as we go into this week is Holy Week, and want to tell you some events we're having here at the church. So on Good Friday, you all are invited at 6 p.m. to our fish fry, and we'll have service at 7 p.m. And on Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, we'll have service at 8 a.m. and 10:30. So we'd love to have you all back. And we wish you all the best in this upcoming election. We just want to thank you all for your participation, taking time out of your day to answer these questions and making sure we're all informed. So thank you. And we just love you. Love everyone here at the Cross. We love big, and I hope you all felt that today, and have a great Saturday. Thank you. I have a couple of photo op requests, if you please.